and I am one of many nieces and nephews of Uncle Eric. You have come here tonight to celebrate. The definition of celebration is the action of marking one's pleasure at an important event or occasion by engaging in enjoyable, typically social activity. This is a social activity. You have come here as cousins, nieces, nephews, friends, collaborators, partners in crime, and you know who you are, acquaintances, admirers, and we welcome all of you this evening for this celebration. And so, in order to get started, I would like to meet my partner who will assist us in navigating through this journey this evening, and that would be Michael Williams.
How you doing?
No, I said, how are you? It's good to see you again. It's been quite a while. How you doing? Now, it's been a while, so I'm honored to be here. And the family is honored to have you all here. We have friends, we have family, we have musicians, we have people on day pass from prison. So thank you very much for coming. Give yourself a round of applause, and also to Martine for putting this stuff together. So I'll start the evening this way. I will be here with Miss Mercury all evening until we decide to go home and they kick us out of this place. So you're probably wondering my association to Eric Mercury. I had to think not too hard about this, and actually I have two associations. One with the guys behind me and one with Eric Mercury. 14-year-old kid in Cleveland, Ohio, playing in the rock and roll band, doing absolutely anything I could, working at 3 different radio stations. One was classical, one was college, one was rock and roll, and if it was music, I had to be there. So of course at that day and time, I went to see Hair, Godspell, and Jesus Christ Superstar. And I loved it all. I absolutely loved it all. But the guy that played Judas looked like me. And I would wait at the stage door to meet the guys and stuff when they'd come out and everything. And you know, even to this day, I don't think we met at that time. I might have met a few other folks, but there was a band there, and it was his band. So when I met the gentleman later on through Much Music and Age of Reason and all that, and Liberty Silver, I said, man, I saw, he says, well, I was in Superstar. I said, I saw Superstar. I didn't know it was him. I had no idea that it was Eric Mercury. All I know, the guy had a great voice, an enormous amount of soul. He rocked the place, he killed it, and almost kind of stole the show. And then the next time I saw him was with Roberta Flack in Montreal. We became very, very good friends because of Age of Reason and Much Music and all that stuff. And we talked a lot and we spent a lot of time together. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that not only you are here to celebrate him, but everybody is here to celebrate him. So
They came across from the English invasion, and they did this song called To Everything Turn, Turn, Turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. Yeah, there was a time. And then the Bible told us. Now I want to take you to church. I'm going to take you to church now. Give me 1 second here. The Bible tells us about a time. And it talks about, I'm going to give you Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 down to 8. And I want to read about this time. And it says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We all, each and every one of us, have an expiry date. So I'm here representing, in memory of Eric Mercury, and I always called him Mr. Mercury. Mr. Mercury obviously spent his time here on earth very well. Yes. And I look over this audience and all you beautiful people, he's touched you in some way, shape, or form, obviously. He left his legacy. He left a legacy on each and every one of us. So now it's our time to leave our legacy to one another, to this whole world. So for those of you who will, join with me in a moment of silence in memory of Mr. Eric Mercury. Please be quiet. Just give me 1 second of your time. We can have that moment right now. You can close your eyes, you can do whatever, but we have to honor him properly this evening. A time for peace, I swear it's not too late. Thank you.
Say amen, somebody. I've had so many honors today, people I've been able to introduce to you who you may or may not know. And this is another one that I would like to acknowledge. Mark Ruffin. Some people know him as the jazz guy from Sirius XM, but I know him as my Uncle Eric's very, very good friend. And so in remembering my uncle, we would welcome Mark to come forward and say a few words.
This is so nice. Eric's spirit is just all over the place. As she mentioned, my name is Mark Ruffin. In late 80s, early 90s, I was a stringer for the Chicago Sun-Times, which meant I was a freelancer, hustling as many articles as I could. And one day I saw that there was a play in Chicago called Just One World. And it was written by Eric Mercury, and I'm a music nerd, and I knew Eric Mercury. He produced Donny Hathaway, he's in the Stax Hall of Fame. And didn't he recently did the commercial, If I Could Be Like Mike, the Gatorade commercial. And I was like, oh, I could get an assignment with this guy. So my editor said yes. We met on a snowy afternoon in Chicago. It was very, very cold. It started snowing at about 3 o'clock. We were still in the restaurant at 11 p.m. Snow was up to here. And eventually we became the best of friends, and even he was the best man at my wedding just 6 years ago. He is an amazing connector, and what I want to tell is stories. We all know how he's connected people, but the very famous people who connected with Eric just blew my mind. As I got to know him and I would do interviews and talk to people, at the very last question would be, hey, do you know Eric Mercury? And always have to be surprised at the answers. The two I remember most are Arturo Sandoval. He was like, you know where Eric Mercury is? And I told him about Eric. He said, man, we did things in Cuba, and I don't even want to talk about the things they said they did in Cuba. And the other one was a guy in a reggae band, Third World, Bunny Ruggs. He was like, dude, I haven't talked to him. I mean, he was so excited. And just the way Eric connected people was amazing, whether they were family, friends. Some of the stories I heard tonight have been amazing. I see Brenda Dash over there. Just the amazing stories with Brenda. Yes, please. But my two favorite Eric Mercury stories are one he told me and one that I was actually there. He told me that one time he was playing the bitter end. Well, no, Frank Zappa was playing the bitter end. He was playing next door, and they both had residencies for the week. And this old man would come and just stare at him. And between breaks, he and Zappa would go upstairs and smoke. And he would tell him about this old man. On the third day, two old men came in, and they just both stared at Eric. And Zappa said, well, let me go see who these guys are. It was Salvador Dali and Pablo Picasso. Okay? And as some of Eric friends know, he developed a relationship with Pablo Picasso, okay? Okay, and before I tell the next story, I see Seth out there. And please, she was wonderful, right? Yes? And I realized it hit me right when they said she was Salome's daughter. Her cousin, Aissa DeHaas, was the star of Just One World. I said, wow, what a crazy connection that is. His spirit is just, Okay, then the last story. Like I said, I was with the Chicago Sun-Times. I was interviewing Jack DeJohnette, very famous drummer. We walked into a bar and Jack was there. I said, Jack, I'm Mark Ruffin, Chicago Sun-Times. This is my friend Eric Mercury. Jack said, the electric black man, Eric Mercury? And Eric, right in character, said, yes, it is indeed I. And Jack DeJohnette proceeded to tell us a story about how Miles Davis locked them in a room one night with cocaine and marijuana and played Eric's album over and over and over, okay? Jack knew the words to the songs, okay? 3 or 4 days later, I'm looking for Eric. I don't have to tell you, he was hanging out with Jack DeJohnette. That's the kind of person he was, and I just had to share those stories. I love him so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
A special friend of Uncle Eric's would also like to say a few words, and that would be Ms. Pat Garcia.
Thank you so much, Leanne, Martin, Wanda, and all those who did this great evening for our dearly beloved Eric. I don't want to do free speech because I think my darling Leanne and Wanda would have to drag me off the stage because there are a million positive things that I can say, Eric. So let's get right into what I scripted whilst I was in the green room. Good evening, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I feel privileged to share so many fond memories in tribute to our precious departed Eric Alexander Mercury. I am honored also to bring greetings from some of Eric's very dear friends and colleagues with whom he worked and shared great songwriting, performances, and life experiences in general. To Eric's family, friends, and other loved ones, I extend special messages of condolences with loving recognition directly from Eric and my mutual friends, global musical superstar Stevie Wonder, singer, songwriter, actor, and activist Harry Belafonte and his daughter Gina. Music publisher and manager Deirdre O'Hara. Singer, songwriter, show stage writer Brenda Russell. Blues musician, actor, composer Taj Mahal. entertainment manager Val Hackett, and music producer, songwriter, singer Kenny Vance. These wonderful mutual friends of Eric and mine, and a lot of Eric's family, are not physically here with us tonight, but they are in spirit. I am also tasked, and I say tasked, with the pleasure of bringing greetings and paying tributes from Eric's partners and friends of the Caribbean islands, of South America and West Africa, in which regions we shared marvelous musical moments. Let us continue to appreciate Eric's practicality of purpose, his gifts of confidence and encouragement, his displeasure for inactivity and negativity, and his overwhelming determination to succeed and make all others happy. Let us celebrate that Eric was the iconic superstar who I insist was under-recognized. Hand of applause. Thank you. And also under-rewarded, a bigger hand of applause. But who, until his very last active life moments, continued to compose songs and produce music and do whatever he can for many others, famous and not yet famous. In addition to those he previously wrote and produced for, I would like to mention Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, David Bowie, and David's movie is not yet released, The Life and Times of David Bowie, but Eric plays a part in that. That's something for us all to look forward for. We thank Iman for making sure that his parts are well included there. Eric also did music for Yvonne Elliman, Thelma Houston, and Thelma shared some of that music with Whitney Houston. Didi Warwick, we call her fondly, and many others. Our Merc brought unforgettable vitality with his vocals to some of the most famous television commercials of all times, including Michael Jordan's Be Like Mike in the famous Gatorade jingle. He acted in movies including American Hot Wax as Tyrone and The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh as Rudy. His live acting roles and great on-stage productions includes Jesus Christ Superstar, and he composed songs and produced music for several big screen movies, including Bustin' Loose and The Warriors. And it's just a dot in the ocean because, as I said, I don't want Leanne, she's looking at me, or Wanda, or anyone else to drag me off the stage, okay? It would be remiss of me, ladies, gentlemen, and friends, not to indulge in pinpointing the truly loving, humane aspects of the magnificent man that Eric unquestionably, undeniably was. Wouldn't you agree? He was never too busy, not only for those of us closest to him, but effortlessly so to others unknown who sought his expertise. There were times that I shared special moments as a brotherly, sisterly friend with Eric in Montreal, and we would have television and radio and other stations call him, or ask permission to get his number and contact, and he would freely tell them, go right ahead, give it out, share it. My expertise is not to be kept within me, it is to share to all those deserving of it. Our Merc was an unrivaled walking encyclopedia, Wikipedia, and Google of the entertainment industry. Anything you needed to know, call Eric. But family meant the world to him. So he seriously allocated quality times within his often packed schedules during his busiest periods, even to play online games with his nieces and young relatives. That always absolutely amazed me. I admired him for things like that, those humane qualities. As we continue to embrace his celebratory event in his honor, let us recognize that our Merc asks us not to prolong our mourning for him, but instead to celebrate his life, wish him well in his new heavenly abode, and go forward with intensity and exuberance in our own lives. I'm sure those of us who knew Eric understands that. Long live the astonishing memories of the life and times of Eric Alexander Mercury, our fearlessly astounding Merc, our one and only Black electric man of all times. Gone, ladies and gents, but certainly never to be forgotten. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Pat. Much appreciated. Pat mentioned a number of people who could not be with us tonight, and I would be remiss if I did not pay special tribute to Eric's only child, Blake Sebastian, who could not be here from the West Coast, but did send love and respect for this evening. It is my pleasure to introduce the second born in my branch of the family, my brother Alan.
Good evening. Well, I can tell you just a brief story about Uncle Eric and I. Some years ago, we were invited to a family barbecue. Uncle Eric says, Alan, come and pick me up. He was living in an apartment at Bathurst Finch, and he said, Alan, we just need to go drop off here on the way. Can't hear me? Do I have to stand closer? How's that? Okay, as I said, Uncle Eric asked me to come and pick him up. We were going to one of our cousins' barbecues out in Ajax, or Whitby, excuse me. Uncle Eric says, we have to stop off on the way there. I said, where are we going, Uncle Eric? He said, a little place at Almas and Finch. I said, okay, let's go there. So we go to this little jerk manufacturing place, and he says, Alan, just go in and ask the lady for the turkey. I said, there's no turkey on the menu. Uncle Eric says, just ask her for the turkey. Little did I know that Uncle Eric had convinced this woman where turkey was not on the menu, he had dropped off a whole turkey and she had it jerked and ready for us to take to the barbecue. Not only one turkey, but one for him to take home and one for us to take to the barbecue. That goes to show you how influential my Uncle Eric was. When he can go to a restaurant that has nothing on the menu that he wants and have them cook what he wants because he brought the raw materials. And in the honor of my Uncle Eric, which we did many times together, I'd like to propose a toast. There are shots of vodka at the bar for everyone who wishes to have one. And I'd like to say, here's to Uncle Eric.
Family, please. Okay, we have a performance now by Wanda. Is it? Come here, you gotta do this with me. Come on up here. I feel so alone and all of that. Wanda Mercury, folks.
One of my favorite cousins. One of. Don't get carried away. One of my favorite cousins would like to say a few words on behalf of our family and herself. Ms. Wanda Mercury Simmons.
Hi. I don't think I need this mic, but I'm going to use it. Because they gave it to me. Shame on them. Anyways, I'm really nervous, but I just thought I'd speak a little bit about my Uncle Eric, about all of our Uncle Eric. I remember one day, I think I was about 6 years old, and I had gone outside to play early. My mother said to me, I don't know why you're going out there. There's nobody out there to play with. I said, I'll find somebody. And I went and I sat on the sidewalk, and I broke up some sticks, and I let them go down the rain, or the drain, suey hole number 2, I used to call it. My sister, I told her she came from there. She would get so mad at me, but I was jealous because she would sit on my mother's lap all the time. She wouldn't get up and move. While I was playing in suey hole number 2, Uncle Eric was coming down the street. It was about 7:30 in the morning, and I remember looking up and seeing him walking towards me with this huge smile on his face. And he said to me, what are you doing, little girl? And I said, I'm floating the sticks into the sewer hole. Aunt Jody came from here, remember? He said, you don't really believe that, do you? I said, no, but I like to make her cry. Uncle Eric and I both lived in Montreal together. And I said to him one day, Uncle Eric, come to the States with me. I just want to pick up a walker for my granddaughter, who hadn't been born yet. She's here now, her name's Corey, but she's a little sweetie. But we weren't allowed to use walkers here in Canada because so many people had children falling downstairs. I didn't get that, eh? Because I raised 4 boys, and not one of them fell down the stairs. Anyways, I went over to the States. Uncle Eric was beside me, and he said to me, you know what? Everywhere I go with you, it's an adventure. I said, really? Not all the time, Uncle Eric, as we crossed the border to get the walker. When we came back from the States, the man said to me, pull your car over. Uncle Eric goes, oh shit, here goes the adventure. I said, okay. The man said, you can't bring that into Canada. I said, why not? He said, because it has wheels on it. They don't allow them in Canada. They're barred. I said, why? He said, because too many children have been killed in these walkers. I said, not mine. And I got 4 sons that prove to you I can have my granddaughter can go in this walker. He said, you got to take it back or you can mail it. You have a few choices. Mail it, take it back to the store, or we take it. I said, Uncle Eric, do you mind going back? He said to me, adventure, what can I say? I said, okay, so I took it back. Then Uncle Eric and I used to go all the time to lunch, and we made bets, and you know, he lost them all. Who was going to pay? You know, I bet you. Poor guy was broke after I got finished. Well, one day we were in the car. I'm going to swear now. My kids, it's okay, Wayne. I'll only do it this once. We were in the car, and Uncle Eric was sitting in the passenger seat, and then I said, okay, we're going to park over here in front of Chorus. You're going to go across the street and pay. He said, no problem, because the machine was on the other side of the street. If anybody who's been in Montreal knows those machines, you have to walk a mile to pay for your parking spot. And don't forget the numbers. But before I went too far ahead of the story. I'm not past 3 minutes, am I? I have to stop now, guys. Anyways, we got to Chorus. No, Uncle Eric called me upstairs into his apartment. He said, before we go to Chorus, I want you to try this. I said, try what? He said, just come upstairs. So I go upstairs, and Uncle Eric hands me this roach. And I said, what's that for? He said, smoke it. I said, I don't smoke. Don't. I stopped smoking when CJ, he's my second oldest son, when he caught me in the garage with my sister Jody. I quit smoking. Mom, don't smoke drugs anymore. I said, no. Now I can't get him away from the weed. Anyways, I don't smoke. So Uncle Eric said, take this. It's too much excitement around you. You need to calm down. Smoke this. I said, oh, I'm driving. He said, smoke the damn thing, will you? I said, okay. So I blew it out quick. He said, did you get it? I said, oh yeah, great buzz. He said, okay. So we get in the car, we drive to Chorus. He said to me, I'm gonna pay the parking. I said, okay, the parking, whatever that thing is down the street. He said, okay. So he walks down the street. I said, yell out the window, you got enough change? He said, yeah, I'm good. I said, okay, so he walks down the street and he stands there. The machine's right here. He stands. Go in his pocket. I said, oh, maybe he doesn't have enough change. I rolled down the window. Uncle Eric, you got enough change? I said, Hong Kong, Uncle Eric, do you have enough change? He said to me, what the fuck am I doing over here? Put the change in the meter. I'll be right there, Uncle Eric. We get in the restaurant, he said, that's good weed, eh?
Wanda Mercury Simmons, she's all ours.